Yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Stormybman Reacts, my videos that I release when I break down materials that I've seen at the theater or materials that I've, received at home and I want to do a review on. So this is a review of a film that I saw recently, Godzilla -1. Forgive me for the delay in getting this particular video out to you because I've wanted to talk about this film, but there's so much going on in light with the sport of boxing as I'm covering, but I had to come out and do something regarding Godzilla -1, a film that I had a chance to see November 30th as a pre-release date for the film, which opened here in my area Friday, December 1st. And I must tell you all, this has got to be the best Godzilla film that I've seen, bar none. I mean, it's a remake of the original from the, I want to say 1960s. I don't have that exact date when the original was released. But this film, which was written and directed by Takashi Yamazaki, it tells the story of Godzilla, who comes about during World War II in 1945. That's the setting of the film, and the story happens to follow some characters that are quite meaningful, as opposed to in some films the characters come about as just to drive the story forward. In this particular film, we see the lead character played by Ryunosuke, excuse me if I murder these names, Ryunosuke Yamaki, and he's playing a kamikaze pilot during World War II. The kamikaze pilots were supposed to be one of Japan's weapons during the war, and as he defects from his mission, he's brought to a small island where they repair damaged planes during the war, and they find out that he's a deserter. And being a deserter, there's a tremendous loss of face behind that. So he's dealing with those issues of being a deserter, his countrymen looking down upon him, and how he feels like he needs to possibly maybe self-delete, because it's a tremendous loss of face being a deserter, especially when you were a kamikaze pilot. The character is Kochi is his name, and Kochi, when he lands on this small island, the men who were going to repair his plane, just as they start to get ready to come at him about figuring out that he was a deserter, a beast attacks the small island that they're on. And as he jumps into his plane, he is edged on by the commander of the island and the crew of men working the island to use the plane's guns to shoot the beast. Now, this beast, we will later find out, is Godzilla. But he's not the Godzilla that we will come to know later in the film, for as he's not as large, and the total mutation of him hasn't taken foot yet. So, as the film goes on, Godzilla attacks that crew on that island, and only 2 men survive, Koji and the commander of that island. But Koji, when he returns to his home, he finds that his parents were killed in the bombing of Tokyo, and he has that survivor's guilt of a deserter, and he's mulling about trying to figure what he's going to do with his life. And he runs across a woman who is carrying a child. Automatically, he assumes that the woman and the child are like street people, because in the area where his parents lived, by the land being wiped out, there are people who are struggling to make sense of their lives. Their possessions are gone and everything is just total devastation. So the woman, Noriko, with the child, her parents were also killed during the bombing, and he goes on to find out that the baby she's carrying is not her own, but a baby that was orphaned during the war. So as these two come together, not willingly, circumstances bring them together where they're trying to make ends meet and form some kind of life and take care of the child. Somewhere in this situation, he begins to develop a sense of responsibility for the child and the woman. So he seeks after work, and he gets a job as a mine sweeper, cleaning up mines that were dropped during the war, and it pays a staggering amount of money. And the reason the risk is so high is because your life is being threatened at all times. So, but the mines that they sweep for are not on land, they're in water. So they have to go out on these boats. The boats that they go out on bring them to areas where mines may have been dropped, but the boats are made of wood because metal will set off the mines. So as you can see, the old fishermen's boats, that's kind of what they were using as they went out on the seas. And the war is not quite over, but just about nearly over. And then there is another explosion out there that takes place, and the nuclear test that is run, that is what totally mutates the giant monster that he encountered on that island, the monster that will become known as Godzilla. As things unfold, he and his crew on the mine boat have an encounter with Godzilla. And when they see what Godzilla is capable of, as he took down a battleship, and the size and magnanimous feats of this creature, they figure that they're doomed. But they have to get word to the island that this creature may be coming to land. The film goes on from there, and we see pretty good acting by Noriko and Koshi. You know, the thing about this film is it was made on a $15 million budget. But this film looks like $100 to $200 million film with its sets, special effects, wardrobe, and acting. When I said it's the best Godzilla film that I've ever seen, I say it because of all of those values that went into the production. The creature looks exactly like we remember him looking, with some new additions to his abilities and powers, such as regenerative traits that he has. All of this is due to the mutations of the atomic blast. And speaking of atomic blast, when you see Godzilla in this film use his atomic blast, it's something that you're not prepared for. It's quite different from the other films. If you see in this image that I'm showing here, he looks like Godzilla, of course. More scaly, his claws are more pronounced and defined. His dorsal fins on his back are large. His tail is long. His legs aren't as bulky as the American Godzilla, but similar traits are there. Like when he uses his atomic blast, his dorsal fins turn blue, like in the new modern US Godzilla films. However, there is something different about his atomic blast in this film. This Godzilla charges up before he uses that blast, and the charge emanates from the tip of his tail, going up the tail, up his back, all the way to the back of his head, and he rears up and then he lets loose. It's an amazing display captured for the first time. When he uses it, it's reminiscent of watching Tony Stark suit up in his Iron Man suit in the first Iron Man film. His dorsal fins pop out, displaying power and strength as this begins to happen. This Godzilla is not a hero. He is the beast that terrorized a land of people, that caused his inception. He's angry and he's in attack mode. There is a scene where he comes across a train, and when he comes across that train, he tries to devour the train like he's dining on a giant snake or something, and he rips it apart, and he's just full of anger. And when the Japanese army decide to try to take him on, he grows even angrier when the military moves in with their weapons. And though the weapons have little effect, they are enough to annoy this beast, and he elects to go after them full throttle. There are other characters in the film who assist in driving the story forward, and I will not spoil the full details of this film, but it is definitely worth checking out. The creature is amazing, and because the Toho company that produces these Godzilla films out of Japan, they wanted to show the Americans that they still make the best Godzilla films. And we were able to see that only minutes into the first time he appears on screen. There are a lot of shots of him close up. There are a lot of shots of him moving around. And he doesn't traditionally move slowly like, the plodding Godzilla as we've known over the years, and even in the American Godzilla films, he plods slowly. No, this Godzilla moves fast. He turns and it's like the beast is crazy. There's this one scene where he's taking out the city, and photographers and reporters are on a rooftop, and they're trying to capture him in live footage. and he's going past the building where they are, and he happens to crash into the building. So the building is collapsing, and these guys are about to fall off the roof because the roof pitches, and they slide, and they're almost sliding to their doom. And you're actually sitting there, and you can feel the tension of what's happening, the way it's shot and the way it's captured and the acting. It's amazing. And I'm like, wow, this was a good time at the theater to see these creatures being brought to life with modern day special effects, and what they're able to do to create such realistic environments. It's really, really amazing. And I enjoyed every bit of it, as might you. So I'm recommending that you go and check out Godzilla -1, a tremendous retelling of the Godzilla narrative, and enjoy yourself. It's a quality film. The acting is outstanding by the lead actors and actresses in this film, and the main character, the beast of the title, Godzilla, is being depicted as he hadn't been depicted before. So just keep these things in mind if you're able to get to the theater and check it out, which I would recommend seeing it on the big screen first, because, you know, people like myself, we like to watch it when it comes out on home media and all of that. But to see it in the theater, the giant screen, and to see how larger than life this character is, and to captivate all of the emotions and everything behind what happens in this story, it's well worth it. So I'm giving this film like a 4 out of 5 as far as the rating, but you have to go and check out Godzilla -1. It's an excellent film, probably one of the top 5 best films of this year. And I'm not saying it for the beast, I'm saying it because of the story, the acting, the production, the wardrobes, everything, the recreation of 1945 to 1947, circa Japan of that time. It's amazing. And all of this was done on a mere budget of $15 million. So this is Stormybman. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go check out Godzilla -1. You will not be disappointed. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.